To begin with, first, on behalf of the medical fraternity, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Honorable Prime Minister and the Government of India for the ordinance that has been passed yesterday, which will go a long way in providing security and boosting the morale of our frontline soldiers, that is the Corona warriors. All healthcare workers are really very grateful for this ordinance, and I think this is a great boost as far as they are concerned. But as we sort of applaud our healthcare workers, it's also important to understand that the center of all of this is the patients, and they are currently facing a lot of challenges and stigma which is not justified. The majority of patients are actually becoming all right and coming out, and these are actually our symbols of victory. They are symbols of hope that they have had COVID-19 and have come out, and yet we have stigmatized them to a large extent, which is creating a huge problem. It's creating a panic, it's creating problem as far as society is concerned. These individuals, these patients, their families are having huge hardship which are really unjustified. And not only that, it is actually causing increasing morbidity and mortality. Because of the stigma that is happening, many patients who have COVID-19 or have flu-like symptoms are not coming forward, not coming to healthcare facilities. And because of that, they are coming very late when they are really very breathless, and this is leading to higher mortality. Many of these patients can be saved by just one treatment, and that is by giving them oxygen. The simple thing to remember is that when these young individuals or these individuals have a pneumonia or they have a viral infection and their oxygen in the blood becomes low, it can lead to or trigger a number of other problems, whether it's cardiac, whether it's neurological, and therefore a strategy of having more and more oxygen beds is based on this. 80% of individuals will have mild illness. The remaining 15% will become all right just with supportive care and oxygen therapy. Less than 5% will need ventilators or critical care. So therefore, it's important that we reach out to these patients who are right now scared to come out because of the panic and the stigma that we have attached, and thereby not getting proper treatment. So I think we need to work on this. I would appeal to everyone, whether it's the media, whether it's the lay public, that these are people who, for an unfortunate reason, have got the infection. Consider the stress and strain the whole family goes through. You're isolated for 14 days in a quarantine facility where you are seeing people who are wearing PPEs and treating you. You're not able to meet your family members for 14 days because you are in quarantine or you're in isolation. Besides, instead of sympathizing with these people, we have created an environment of fear and panic which I think is really not justified. And we all need to work in trying to really look at these people as our symbol of hope and victory, rather than stigmatize them and start not accepting them in society. We have to work on this strategy, and I would like to appeal to everyone that we should look at how we can support the families and patients who have had COVID-19, who are suffering from COVID-19, and encourage more and more people to come out for testing. If you are tested early and reach the hospital early and treatment is started, it will save your life. If you don't come to the hospital and you have COVID-19 and you come in a state where you are gasping for breath, it will lead to higher mortality. Therefore, I think it's important that we encourage everyone to seek medical attention, get themselves tested. We have ramped up testing to a large extent. There is no shortage of testing, and we can thereby be able to support all these people who need to be tested. So I would really stress that we need to work on this. As far as treatment is concerned, a lot of new things are being done, but the primary treatment of COVID-19 is supportive treatment in more than 80% of patients and oxygen therapy in around 15% of patients with other drugs. And a lot of drugs have been tried. We have now started in various centers using convalescent plasma, that is the blood of patients who have healed and become all right and the antibodies in their blood. And I'm very heartened to see that a large number of individuals, patients who have become all right, have come forward and volunteered to donate their blood, which shows the commitment that our citizens have when it comes to fighting COVID-19. We're also looking at newer drugs. Hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin is already being looked at, and various other repurposed drugs which are already available in our country are also being looked at as treatment strategies. And newer drugs which are available or which are undergoing clinical trials are also being looked at as part of multi-centric trials or international trials which the WHO is conducting. So there is hope as far as treatment is concerned, but I think at the end it's important to remember that this is still a disease which is not that serious. 90 to 95% of people recover, but if we have that stigma and we don't come forward, then we may land up in a situation where because of our delay in treatment, we may have higher mortality. So that is, I think, a very, very important thing that we need to keep in mind.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, after the detailed briefing as well as our preparedness and the strategy, I'm thankful to all of the members here, but still we can take one or two questions, sir, if the time permits. First is online question. What's happening with IMCT in Maharashtra? What is it okay? What's happening with IMCT in Maharashtra? What is IMCT assessment of Maharashtra? Has any team submitted the report? I think for the
जैसे कि आप लोगों को मालूम है, जब हम किसी भी स्टेट में केस नोटिस करते हैं तो स्टेट से कोलैबोरेटिव एफर्ट में हम लोग काम करते हैं. उसी के तहत ही एक सेंट्रल रैपिड रिस्पांस टीम मुंबई भी गई. उसके साथ ही हमारी 2 सेंट्रल टीम्स ऑलरेडी वहां पर काम कर रही हैं. एंड एज पार्ट ऑफ आवर डिस्कशन विद द स्टेट, वी रियलाइज कि हम लोगों ने डिफरेंट सिनेरियोज आपस में डिस्कस किए. उन सिनेरियोज को डिस्कस करते हुए कि किस टाइप की प्रिपरेटरी एक्टिविटी, बेस्ट केस सिनेरियो, एवरेज सिनेरियो और वर्स्ट केस सिनेरियो में हमें कैसे प्रिपेयर रहना है, उसके तहत डिस्कशन करते हुए स्टेट के साथ मिलकर एक फील्ड इम्प्लीमेंटेशन स्ट्रैटेजी बनाई गई है, जो ऑनगोइंग एफर्ट्स उनको स्ट्रेंथन किया जा रहा है.
मिस्टर मृगांक प्रभाकर, सहारा टीवी.
सर, मेरा सवाल आईसीएमआर से है. अभी मैं ग्राफ देख रहा था और लीनियर ग्राफ की बात हुई है, लेकिन पिछले 4-5 दिन से 1200-1400 लगभग पेशेंट आ रहे हैं. आपको लगता है कि 3 मई तक पीक आ जाएगा इंडिया के अंदर?
ये तो बहुत डिफिकल्ट सवाल है बताना कि 3 मई तक पीक आएगा कि कब पीक आएगा, मगर ये हम लोग का काफ़ी स्टेबल चल रहा है. और जैसे कि बताया है कि 4.5% पॉजिटिविटी आ रही है, वही बिल्कुल स्ट्रेट टी टाइप की लाइन चल रही है. तो आप इसको ये भी कह सकते हैं कि हम लोग कर्व को फ्लैटन कर पाएँ, ये भी सोच सकते हैं. तो अभी इस पर कहना बड़ा मुश्किल है.
लास्ट क्वेश्चन मिस्टर नितेंद्र सिंह.
सर, मेरा 2 क्वेश्चन है. एक तो डॉक्टर गुलेरिया यहाँ पे हैं. बहुत लोगों का, देश के करोड़ों के एक क्वेश्चन है कि नॉन कोविड पेशेंट का क्या करें. बहुत से सीरियस है मरीज जाते हैं, उनको बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम, चाहे वो कैंसर की हो, डायबिटीज़ का हो, या फिर बहुत सारे ऐसे डिजीज बर्डन ऑलरेडी इंडिया में इतना है, तो वो क्या करें. सेकंड आईसीएमआर से क्वेश्चन है कि क्या वायरस एयर में है या उसकी किस तरह की बिहेव है, कितना डिस्टेंस पे लोग मेंटेन करें. ये नए तरीके से लोग जानना चाहते हैं कि इस पे थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करा जाए.
थैंक यू. आपकी बात बिल्कुल सही है कि इस कोविड के एरा में हमें नॉन कोविड पेशेंट को नहीं भूलना चाहिए और ये बहुत ज़रूरी है कि उनका पूरा ध्यान रखा जाए. कई पेशेंट्स ऐसे हैं जिनको कैंसर है, जिनकी कीमोथेरेपी की बात है, डायलिसिस की ज़रूरत है, क्रॉनिक किडनी डिजीज़ के पेशेंट्स हैं या डायबिटीज़ के पेशेंट्स हैं. तो ये प्रयास पूरी तरह से किया जा रहा है कि जब हम कोविड पे फोकस कर रहे हैं, और जैसे सेक्रेटरी साहब ने भी कहा कि नॉन कोविड फैसिलिटीज़ पर भी ध्यान दिया जा रहा है. कई हॉस्पिटल्स ने टेली कंसल्टेशन और शुरू कर दिया है, जिससे हम लॉकडाउन के दौरान भी इन पेशेंट्स को रीच आउट कर सकें, उनको फ़ोन कर पाएँ और उनसे उनके सपोर्ट कर पाएँ. कुछ ऐसे हॉस्पिटल्स हैं जो नॉन कोविड डेडिकेटेड हॉस्पिटल्स बने हैं जहाँ पे ये फैसिलिटीज़ प्रोवाइड की जाएगी. और मेरा ये मानना है कि जैसे जैसे हम आगे चलेंगे लॉकडाउन के उठने के बाद भी, तो हमें ये दोनों चीज़ें बैलेंस करनी पड़ेंगी. कोविड सेंटर्स और नॉन कोविड सेंटर्स, जहाँ पे हम पूरी तरह से इन लोगों का केयर प्रोवाइड कर पाएँ और इन दोनों को मिक्स ना करें, जिससे जो ये इम्यूनो कॉम्प्रोमाइज पेशेंट्स हैं या जिनको कोविड के रिस्क सीवियर इन्फेक्शन होने के चांसेस ज़्यादा हैं वो अलग रहें और कोविड वाले जो हैं वो अलग से रहें। लेकिन ये आपकी बात सही है कि इसमें ये ध्यान रखने की ज़रूरत है कि जो नॉन कोविड हैं वो सफ़र ना करें, उनकी मोर्टेलिटी ना बढ़े।